Hi, and welcome to this episode of the Boardroom Company Live, the podcast for professionals who want to build a board career. Today, it's April 2026. I'm going to be sharing 3 things that you shouldn't be doing if you're seeking a board role. So let's get into it. What are the 3 things that you shouldn't be doing if you're seeking a board role? Well, number 1 is asking for help. So a lot of people think that when they are exploring their board career, they need to speak to people who are influential, people who are on boards, people who can help give them advice. And what they do is they go asking for help, asking for feedback. I've heard that before. I'm going to go and ask people for feedback. I'm going to go and ask people for help. I'm going to go and ask people to see what they think I should be doing. This is a terrible idea. Why is it wrong and why won't it help? It won't help because if you show up and somebody says, hey, I'm thinking about doing something, can I get your help? What can you do for me? Especially when it comes to board roles, which are obviously, there's a governance aspect to it, right? There are rules and regulations for board members. I wouldn't want to be bringing somebody onto a board that I felt like I was, I had been persuaded to, or that I felt like my arm was sort of tied. My arms were tied in some way, shape, or form. So don't ask for help. Okay, what should you do instead? So instead, you should go to your network with a plan. Number 1. Number 2, you should be telling them exactly where you're going and what you're doing, and you should be waiting for them to offer to help. Okay, it's very important that they should offer. I think all of you have heard of this, being invited onto a board. It's actually a verb that is used quite frequently. They don't say, you put yourself on a board. They say you get invited onto a board. So remember that first one. It's not about asking for help. It's not about asking for a favor. It's waiting to be invited. So you have to prove yourself. Number 2, just targeting board members for networking. I hear this all the time. People say, I've been doing a lot of networking and I'm not getting anywhere. And so I ask them, well, what kind of boards do you want to join? Number 1. Number 2, who are you meeting with? What generally tends to happen is people just sort of target board members. They're not quite sure who, they're not quite sure why. They just know that they need to meet board members. And don't get me wrong, it is important while you're looking for a board seat to be surrounded by people who are having the right conversations, that you're learning from, that you'll learn and you'll be educated on board governance as you have these conversations with people who sit on boards. However, they are not the only people that can get you onto a board. Actually, you want to think about what is your target board, and then you want to leverage it from there. So, for example, if you're looking for privately held companies that are going to IPO soon, just targeting random board members, that is not going to be effective. But perhaps targeting investment banks that work with companies that are going to IPO, that might be a good idea. Maybe even lawyers. So have a think. Who are you targeting? Where are you spending your time when it comes to networking? And then number 3, this is the third thing that you really shouldn't be doing, but you should take note of when you're seeking a board role. Are you spending too much time on things that don't matter? Often with my clients, I'll take an audit and say, where are you spending your time? If you have a full-time role, that's obvious, that's understandable. But if you don't, where are you spending your time? Are you volunteering a lot of your time? That's something you need to curtail. Are you out there speaking to people and wasting time on people that really don't matter? Are you networking in the wrong places? Or are you just not doing anything, right? So third thing that you should really do or shouldn't be doing is spending too much time with the things that don't matter. So my advice is take an audit, have a look at your week. Where did I spend my time? And where could I be dedicating maybe 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours per week working on my board career? And I'm happy to share what 3 to 4 hours per week working on your board career means. Feel free to contact me. But that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening. Okay, See you soon.